Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we want to present about group project container for ITT440 network programming. So, is the member of our group Muhamad Zikri Iman bin Muhamad Salleh, Syabil Naqiuddin Shalizam, and Muhamad Syafiq bin Bakar. Container. What is a container? Containers are a standardized unit of software that allows developers to isolate their app from its environment, solving the "it works on my machine" headache. For millions of developers today, Docker is the de facto standard to build and share containerized apps from desktop to the cloud. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Bakar. Right now, I will explain about the Docker for MySQL and phpMyAdmin. To show the currently container in Docker, use docker ps command. So this is the list of container: MySQL, phpMyAdmin, and Ubuntu. Then Ubuntu is used for server and client. To enter the Docker of MySQL, use the docker exec-it followed by the name of container. In this I use MySQLDB and bash. So we inside the container, then enter to MySQL, use MySQL, you root -p, p is the password, so enter the password for MySQL. So here is the MySQL. Show database to show all the databases in MySQL. So this is the database. We also use the phpMyAdmin. We need to log in. The password is the same with MySQL. So the database in my PHP is same with MySQL. And then go back to terminal. Then we can drop the unused database. Use drop database, and here we drop MyDB. Oh, sorry, forgot the semicolon. So then the databases show databases to see if database has been dropped or not. So here we see that database for MyDB has been dropped. Then we refresh at my PHP. We see that MyDB is also dropped. So we use ProjectDB as our database. So here the data in the database. So to say the database, use the command is used for followed by the name of the database, ProjectDB. After that, select all from user. So this is the data inside the ProjectDB. So to edit the data in my phpMyAdmin, click the update. For example, we want to edit the point. So use point, set the point, and the value is 15. So and where the user ID is equal to Syabil, and change the point for Syabil. Then we go to the structure. Uh, so we see that Syabil point is changed. So enter the select all from user command. So we can see that Syabil's point also change. So then we exit. So to exit, just use command exit. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zikri Iman bin Muhammad Salleh. So for my part, I will demonstrate the Python server and client. So for the Python server, we will use the name server1 as a Docker container, and then for the client for Python is client1. So let's start the server. Then we will start the client at another terminals. Right. So here we will use the Python server.py. So we will clear first, then nano Python server.py. So this is the coding for Python server. So we will import all of this. Then here is the function for to fetch the data of the user. Then this is the function of to update database for the user. We will update the point and then the date timestamp. So this is the main function. So here my DB is the connection to the MySQL, to connect with MySQL. So here this coding is to fetch all the data from table user and then display it. Then we will have this coding which is to create the connection of the socket to the client. So this is the thread that we will use, that we will create. The name of the thread is th. Then we will looping. After that, here is the code to accept the request from client. Then we will print if we print the connection. Then this is the name the name that the name of the client that we will receive after the client is connect. After that, we will use the th to start the thread. Then we will call the function fetch to fetch the data. So here we will print the user information, and then we will send the message which is the point of the client, and then we will also display the message that was sent from the client. and then that's all. So here at the function update, we will have a global variable which is date. So at this global variable which date, if the date is not, if not true, then the date, then the while will looping, and this will make the update every 30 seconds for the user, because we have the time that sleep. So after we set the date equal to true, then the looping will false and come out. So that's all. So we will see the coding for the client. So for the client, we will have two client, which is Syabil client and Zikri client. So here is the coding of the client. We have a name, which is Syabil. Then we have the port, which is the port that for the server port. Then the IP address of the server. We will send the name to the server. Then we will print the message that we will receive, which is point from the server. After that, the client can enter the message and send it to the server. So for that, for the Syabil client. For the Zikri client, it's the same, but the name is different, which is Zikri. So that's all. So we will try to start the server. So here we can see that the data of the table user is displayed. Then the sockets we create, then the socket is listening. Then we will try running the Syabil client. So here we can see that the user information is the Syabil that was entered, and the point is 15. The time is 22 2022. After that, at the client, we can enter the message. If we wait for another 30 seconds, then we will see that the database will be updated again. So this is the first updated. Then we can see the second update after the 30 seconds occur. Then here, if we try the message, thank you server. So we can see that the server will send the thank you message for connecting, and then we can, at the server, we can see the message from client, which is thank you server. Then the server is shutting down. So next we will try to connect the server as a Zikri. So if we try, then we can see that the Syabil is already updated to time, which is before this is 15. Right now it's 17. So if we try to run the Zikri client, then we can see that the user information is Zikri, the point is 35, and this is the time that last time I visited. Then we can see the database is already updated. Then we can enter the message. So here we can see that the database for Zikri is updated after the 30 second occur and message from thank you server, and then the server is shutting down. Alright, then we can see at the PSP my admin. If we refresh, you can see that the point and the point for Zikri and Syabil is already changed with the 7 and 17. Alright, that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Syabil Naqiuddin bin Shalizam. I will demonstrate the client and server in C. So here we will putting in the command docker exec it and then the name of the docker, which is server2, and then bash. We are inside the container. Here put in cd server and then ls. These are the files that are inside the container. So we'll be doing it on the client side also. Docker exec it, name of the client, which is client2, and then bash cd client ls, and then these are inside the container. So here we will run the server ./server, then so this is the table user. It will show all of the data that are kept inside MySQL, inside the database. So here we will run the client ./client and then hit enter. It will show that the database is updated, and then the user information, user Syafiq 0.404, and then the date time, which is the last time that the database is updated. So here on the client side, it will show the user Syafiq and then 0.404 and then enter message. And on the server side, the database is updated every 30 seconds. So we will wait 30 seconds until the database is updated again. So there this database is updated. So here we can enter the message, terima kasih, and then on the server side it will print out the message from client. So after running the program, we will head to database, refresh it first, and then Syafiq's data will be updated. Shows that point is on 407 and his date timestamp is also updated. Last is on 11:39, now is 11:40. So we head to server and nano server.c to see the code. So these are all the functions that are included, and these are the variables they are used to update and run the process. So this is the IP address of the database, and this is the user information of the database. this is the password and the name of the database. So next is this void update, which is to update data in the database for the client. So this is the query that is used to update, and we will do a looping. If that is equals to false, we will go inside the loop and then printing out the database is updated. So this line right here is to connect the program to the database, and then this is for the query, and after that we will close, else we will break. This looping also will sleep for 30 seconds. So here this is the int min, and this is the variable for MySQL, and that is a global variable. It's set to false. So these are all the variables that we use. So this if right here is to connect to the database. This one is to display all the data in the table user, and this line here is to select all from the user, so when display will show all. This next one is to create socket file descriptor. This line is to create the socket file. So this code right here is to attach to the socket port 8888. So this one right here is to bind the socket to the same port, which is 8888. So the next one is to read the data that has been sent from the client, and below it is to start the thread to update for every 30 seconds. And the coding below it is to fetch and display the information. And after the fetching and displaying is done, we will send the data to the client. And lastly is the function where we read the data that are received from the client, and then we will close it. So that is all from the server side. Thank you.